So it says, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that you may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. So the 10 days could probably be 2 months, could be 5 months, whatever. Because the number 10 just represents, as well as 7, completion. So we're going to be in these prisons, these isolated facilities, as he read in the letter. Like I said, for as much time that we do have, because once that time approaches, man, it's not going to be too far away. Or let me use another term. It's not going to be too long before we get the hell out of here, before the Lord makes a second return and we're saved. Okay? But at the very end, if we triumph in this uncomfortable situation that we're going to find ourselves in unto the very end, as it reads, be thou faithful unto death, right? And I will give thee a crown of life. We're going to receive a crown. Like, remember, when you read the book of 2nd Ezra, the 2nd chapter, I believe it's the verse 48, where it speaks about a man being taller than the rest and highly exalted in the rest of these men. And this same man, which is Yahweh Shai, giving crowns unto the members which were a part of the gathering to receive a crown on their head. So if we endure to the very end, even unto death, because we're all going to face this uncomfortable situation. Every last one of us are going to be tested in this day and time. And if we're faithful to the very end, then we shall receive that crown of life. And that's going to declare that we are now heirs of the kingdom of heaven. So everything's playing out in terms of prophecy is concerned, man. This is how you know that the Heavenly Father is in control, because what this man has been saying, explaining in the letter, is all Bible prophecy. So what does that mean, that the Heavenly Father is in control? Okay? And as it is read in this scriptures, that certain men will be casted into prisons and that they will be tried. Okay? So there you go. So the beautiful thing about it is that we know exactly why all of this is going to start happening. And on top of that, we also know that we have to be tried. We have to go through the tribulation. You know, so that's why we have nothing to really worry about. Like, for example, this is equivalent to the times when Israel was fighting up against mightier nations than them. And the Lord would tell them, look, don't be afraid, because such and such is going to happen to these nations as you pursue them in this war. And that's exactly what happened. They wound up losing the war. Even though they were less of stature and they were facing mightier nations, the Lord told them that these other nations would lose the war in many ways specifically. And that's exactly what happened when the children of Israel was fighting these nations mightier than they were. So just like how the so-called white man is much more mightier than we are, as it reads in the book of Revelations 12:12, that the devil shall come down having great wrath. When the devil comes down having great wrath, then guess what? The Lord is going to lift up that standard. You're going to have certain brothers that are going to be delivered from that great wrath, and they're going to receive spiritual power. And in that great wrath, overall, we will be delivered in that time. So it may look like that we're going to be consumed for good, but oh no. The Lord got something up his sleeves coming for this devil. Okay? Miracles are going to start happening in these days. Being that we know that the Lord is involved in all of this. Anyway, so that's all I got to say. Let's play some more.
They would be given two options: participate in the debt forgiveness program and be released,
right?
Or stay indefinitely in the isolation facility under the classification of a serious public health risk and have all your assets seized.
Right. So as I've said before, as he just read, he said if you consent, then your debts will all be released, but they'll have access over all of your property forever. So if you don't consent, as he just recently explained, then your property is still going to be seized. So you know what? Again, this is all the Lord setting this up, man, for us to make the wise decision. Because if we do consent, as it reads in the book of Second Ezra, 60, what is it? Yeah, it's in 69. It was looking directly at me, man. It says, and they that consent unto them. I tell you what, let me read verse 68 again. It says, for behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you. That's Revelations 12 and 12. And they shall take away certain of you, and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols. And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden under foot. And that's going to be the end result of those that consent unto those that are going to be setting up this new world order system. And on top of that, it ain't even just going to be the you know what poison that they're telling you to take. In this time, the MOTB is going to get involved in this, and you're going to have to take that MOTB in order for you to move forward in this up and coming new world order system. All right, which they're paving the way for right now. So let's play some more.
As you can imagine, after hearing all of this, it turned into quite the heated discussion and escalated beyond anything I've ever witnessed before. In the end, it was implied by the PMO that the whole agenda will move forward no matter who agrees with it or not.
And you know what it is? Because it's the Spirit of the Lord that's going to move this agenda. That's why. These elites, they've gotten to the point where they don't really care who knows what they're doing. They're going to go with their agenda regardless. You know why? Because there's a heavy spirit that's moving them to move with this agenda. And you know what that spirit is? It's the Spirit of the Lord on the left-hand side. Whether it's a left-hand side or not, it's the Spirit of the Lord that's moving them to fulfill every vision which is written of the prophets. Or should I say, which has been given unto the prophets. That's what the Lord is going to make good on, his words. As it reads in the book of Isaiah 55, verse 11, so shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, and it shall accomplish that which I please. And as well as it says in the book of Numbers 23, verse 19, that the Most High is not a power that he should lie. So every word which is written in the scriptures is going to come to pass. And as this man is reading the letter, he's basically letting you know that Bible prophecy is taking place, or is about other prophecies in the Bible about to take place. These prophecies can start jumping out of the book next year. Okay? So we're in some beautiful, beautiful times. And we're supposed to be scared. Even me just doing this sit down, I'm supposed to be nervous as hell. But guess what? I'm excited, man. A part of me is excited because I know that there's a transition coming. And that transition is going to be us ruling next. As it says in the book of 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter, that Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. That's where we're coming to. We're coming to the end of Esau's world, transitioning into the new world, the everlasting world, the kingdom of heaven, which will be spearheaded by Yahweh Shai and ruled and governed by the saints, the house of David. Now that's what I'm talking about. Anyway, so yeah, I think I've said my piece. So let's play some more of this video, and then we're going to close out.
That it won't just be Canada, but in fact, all nations will have similar roadmaps and agendas.
Exactly. Like I said, it's not going to just be Canada. It's going to be all other countries which are going to do the same thing that Canada is going to do, as he's explained in the letter.
That we need to take advantage of the situations before us to promote change on a grander scale for the betterment of everyone. Members who were opposed and ones who brought up key issues that would arise from such a thing were completely ignored. Our opinions and concerns were ignored. We were simply told to just do it. All I know is that I don't like it, and I think it's going to place Canadians into a dark future.
Well, the world is going to be placed in a dark future. And there will be light at the end of the tunnel for the Israelites. And I just want to read this one more time, because this is what it's going to all boil down to eventually. So let's read this. It says, and Yahweh Shai said unto them, verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me, In the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. And every one that hath forsaken houses, or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands, for my name's sake, shall receive 100-fold, and shall inherit everlasting life. But many that are first shall be last, and the last shall be first. And I just want to say this again, as the man explained on the letter, in saying that, if you do consent unto Esau, he will release all of your debts. But guess what? You're going to have to give all of your property away forever. Everything that you once owned, you got to give it back to him. And then if you don't consent, the same thing's going to happen. So you know what? We might as well just give everything up. Not for the sake of Esau, but for the sake of the Lord. And it's the right option anyway. And even if he wasn't going to get all of this, it would be the right option to take, because we were built and we were meant to serve the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And I just want to end it with one last precept. I want to substantiate what I'm saying on that regard, because it tells us in the scriptures that the whole duty of man is to do what? Let's read this. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man, especially the Israelites. The Israelites were built and were made to follow the commandments of God, and as well as exemplify what righteousness is to the rest of the world. That's what we were built to do. We were not built to worship other nations and their philosophies and their gods. You see how far that's gotten us. That hasn't gotten us nowhere good, but simply at the bottom, which is where we're at right now. So that hasn't worked out for us. Okay? Because we're not built to do that. The Most High made us to follow him and his orders. We came from him as well. So we're supposed to follow his manuscript and let it be what it is. So let me read this again. Let us hear this is Ecclesiastes 12 verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. That's what we as Israelites were built to do. We were built to simply keep the Heavenly Father's commandments. We came from the Heavenly Father. We were chosen by him. So that's what we're simply made to do. It's to keep his commandments and to exemplify that across the world and showing these other nations that we're sons of God or sons of him. And that's what we're going to do in the kingdom of heaven. We're going to represent the Most High in the most perfect ways possible. Because why? We're going to also be under the new covenant, which is what's read in the book of, beginning in the book of Isaiah 30, I believe it's 31. And also, as Paul referenced, as you can read what he said about it in Hebrews, the 8th chapter. So that's what we're going to result to being. We're going to result to being men of the Most High. And the whole nation is going to be under the governance of the Most High's commandments. And that's how it's going to be, as the way it's supposed to be. So that's what we were built to do. We weren't built to serve Esau and these other nations, whatever nonsense they was coming with. We're built to serve our Creator. Simply put. So with that, I want to end it off by saying all praises and glory to the Most High and his Son Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Arakar Quadash. And just thanking the Heavenly Father for giving us this word and this understanding of the times and all things. So with that, I say Shalom.